When Chapman Billies leave the street and Juthy Neebles meet, as market days are wearing late, and folk begin to tack the gate, and we sit boozing at the nappy, getting fou and unca happy. We think, nah, the lang Scot smile, the mosses, watter, slaps and styles that lay between us and our hame, where sits our sulket, sullen dame. Gathered in our brews like gathering storm, nursing our wrath to keep it warm. This truth fun honest Tam O Shanter is he fae e'er a nicht to canter, all there when there a tune surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. O Tam, as thou has been sae wise as ta'en thy ain wife Kate's advice, she told thee weel thou was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blellum that frae November to October, on market day thou wasna sober, that ilka melder wi' the miller thou sat as long as thou had siller, that every naig was cad a shoe on, the smithin thee got roaring fou on, and at the Lord's house even on Sunday thou drank wi' Curtin Jean till Monday. She prophesied that later soon thou would be found deep drowned in Doon, or catched wi' warlocks in the Mark by Alloway's auld haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gars me greet to think how mony counsel sweet, how mony lengthened sage advises the husband fae the wife despises. But to our tale, I mark it nicht, Tam had got planted uncorrect, fast by an ingle bleezing finely, wi' reaming swats that drank divinely, and at his elbow Suitor Johnny, his ancient trusty drouthy crony. Tam lo'ed him like a very brother, they'd been fou for weeks together. The night drave on with songs and clatter, and aye, the ale was growing better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious, with secret favours sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories, the landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rair and rustle, Tam didna mind the storm a whistle. Can imagine see a man sae happy, drowned himsel amang the nappy, his bees flee hame wi' lades o' treasure, the minutes winged their way with pleasure. The kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, o'er the hills of life victorious. But pleasures are like poppy sped, you seize the flower, its bloom is shed. Or like the snow falls in the river, a moment white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis race that flitter you can point their place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form vanishing amidst the storm. Nae man can tether time nor tide, the hour approaches, Tam on ride. That hour o' night's black arch the casey, and the dreary hour he mounts his beastin', and sick a night he'll tax the road in, as ne'er poor sinner was abroad in. The wind blew, 'twad blawn its last, the rattle and showers rose in the blast, the speedy gleams the darkness swallowed, loud, deep and lang the thunder bellowed. That night a child might understand, the deil had business in his hands. Well mounted in his grey mare Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam skelpit on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whiles holding fast his skid blue bonnet, whiles crooning o'er some old Scot sonnet, whiles glowering round with prudent cares, lest bogles catch him unawares. Kirkalloway was drawing nigh, where's ghasts and hoolits nightly cry. By this time he was crossed the fold, where in the snaw the chapman smored, and past the Burks and Meeklestane, where drucken Charlie bracks neckbrain, and through the winds and by the cairn, where hunters fund their murdered bairn, and near the thorn aboon the well, where Mungo's mother hanged hersel. Before the Doon pours all his floods, the Dublin storm rose through the woods, and lightnings flash from pole to pole, near and more near the thunder's roll, where glimmering through the groaning trees, Kirkalloway seemed in a blaze. Through ilka bore the beams were glancing, and loud resounded mirth and dancing, inspiring bold John Barleycorn, with dangers thou canst make us scorn, with tippenny we feel nae evil, wi' us way we face the devil. The swat sae reamed in Tammy's noddle, fair play he called the deals a boddle, but Maggie stood right sair astonished, till by the heel and hand admonished she ventured forward on the light. And wow, Tam saw an unca sight. Warlocks and witches and a dance, nae cotillion brent new fae France, but hornpipes, jigs, strathspeys and reels put life and metal in their heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat all Nick, his shape his beast, a towsy tyke, black, grim and large. To gie them music was his charge, he screwed the pipes and gart them skirl, till roof and rafters a did dirl. Coffins stood round like open presses that shawed the dead in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip sleight, each in his cold hand held a light. by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the haly table a murderer's banes and gibbet airns, to a span lang wee and christened bairns, a thief new cutted frae the rape, wi' his last gasp his gab did gape. 5 tomahawks wi' blund red rusted, 5 scimitars wi' murder crusted, a garter which a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, whom his ain son a life bereft, the grey hairs yet stack to the heft, wi' mair o horrible and awfu', which even to name would be unlawfu'. As Tammy glowered amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious, the piper loud and louder blew, the dancers quick and quicker flew. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they cleek it, till ilka carl and swat and reek it, and coosed her duddies to the lark, and link it at her in her sark. Now Tam O Tam had they been queens, a plump and strapping in their teens, their sarks instead o' creasy flannin, be snaw white 1700 linen, their breeks o' mine my only pair, that ans were plush on good blue hair. I would hae gi'en them half a hurdies for a blink o' the bonny birdies. But withered beldams, auld and drawl, rigwoody hags, wad speen their foe, loping and flinging on a crummock, I wonder didna turn my stomach. But Tam kenned what was fu brawly. There was a winsome wench in Wally that night enlisted in the corps, long after kenned on Carrick's shore, for mony a beast to dead she shot, and perished mony a bonny bought, and shook baith meek o' corn and bear, and kept the countryside in fear. Her cutty sark o' paisley harn, that while a lassie as she had worn, in longitude though sorely scanty, it was her best, and she was vaunty. A little kenned thy reverend granny, that sark she got for her wee nanny, wi' twa pun Scots, 'twas her o' riches, wad e'er graced a dance o' witches. But here my muse, her wing moan cur, sick flights are far beyond her power to sing how Nanny lap and flang, as supple jad she was and strang, and how Tam stood like ane bewitched, and thought his very een enriched. Even Satan glowered and fidged and fu fain, and hotched and blew wi' might and main, till first he capers aye another. Tam tint his reason aye together, and roars out, "Well done, cutty sark!" and in an instant all was dark, and scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out the hellish leason sallied, as bees buzz out wi' angry fyke, when plunder and herds assail their bike, and as open pussy's mortal foes, when pop she starts before their nose, as eager runs the market crowd, when catch they thief run sounds aloud, so Maggie runs the witch's fellow, wi' moany and eldritch, screech and hollow. A Tam, thou'll get thy faring, in hell they'll roast thee like a herring. In vain thy Kate awaits thy coming, Kate'll soon be a woeful woman. Now do's the speedy utmost, Meg, and win the keystane of the brig. Thereat them thou thy tail may toss, a running stream they dare na cross. But ere the keystane she could make, the fiend a tail she had to shake, for Nanny, far before the rest, hard upon noble Maggie pressed, and flew at Tam wi' furious ettle, but little wist she Maggie's mettle. A spring brought aff her master hale, but left behind her ain grey tail. The carlin caught her by the rump, and left poor Maggie scarce a stump. Now what this tale o' truth shall read, ilk man and mother son take heed, whene'er to drink y'are inclined, or cutty sarks run in your mind. Think ye may buy the joys o' dear, remember Tam O Shanter's mare.